I think 99 times and find nothing. I stop thinking, swim in silence, and the truth comes to me. Let me tell you a story about what I want to tell you. In prosperous kingdom situated just next to a wide river, a young man lived. His name was Sanjay. He was too confident, ambitious, and full of opinions. He prided on himself on his ability to outshine over others by his words. He had argued in marketplace, debated in the village square, and dismissed anyone who dared to question him. Even after having profound arguments in the whole kingdom, he often found himself restless. No argument, no victory has even given him peace that his soul desired. Sanjay's words are sharper than knife. His intelligence made him the king's most trusted advisor. Once again, Sanjay prided himself on his ability to debate. As usual, this winning boosts his self-confidence, but punishes his soul. His restlessness further increased. On the other side of the river, there was a monastery known for its wisdom. Among its monks was an elder named Master Rohan. The elder monk is known for his deep silence and unshakable calmness. His mere presence could bring peace to the most troubled minds, and his silence carried more wisdom than 1,000 lectures. One day, Sanjay decided to meet the Master Rohan. When Sanjay arrived at the monk's place, he found an elderly monk sitting under a tree, his eyes closed in deep meditation. The Sanjay cleared his throat and spoke. "O wise one, I am aware that you hold great wisdom. Yet I hear that you do not speak. How can one share wisdom without words?" The Master Rohan opened his eyes, looked at Sanjay, and smiled. But he said nothing. Sanjay continued, "Master Rohan, I have heard you are the wisest man in the land. If that is true, answer me. What is the most powerful force in this world? Is it wealth? Is it knowledge? Or is it the sword?" Master Rohan looked again Sanjay for a moment, then simply closed his eyes again and said nothing. But this time Sanjay got frustrated. He said, "Do you not have an answer, Master? Or have you taken a pledge of silence because you fear my words?" Still, the Master remained quiet. The silence stretched between them. Minutes passed, then an hour, then 2. Sanjay felt a frustration turn to discomfort, then unease. The more he waited, the more he felt exposed, as if the silence itself was peeling away his pride even. His thoughts grew chaotic, echoes of his past arguments, moments of anger, words he had thrown like weapons. Yet here was Master Rohan, untouched, unmoved, as still as a mountain. The silence pressed upon Sanjay like a heavy weight, and for the first time in his life, he felt small, insignificant. His arguments, his sharp words, all of it suddenly felt meaningless in the face of his profound stillness. Then, as if something within him had cracked open, Sanjay felt tears sting his eyes. The restlessness that had plagued him for years, the need to prove himself, to always have the last word, began to dissolve. With a waving voice, he whispered, "Why does your silence feel more powerful than all my words?" Master Rohan finally opened his eyes. His gaze was gentle yet piercing. Because silence is where truth resides. Sanjay, words can deceive, provoke, and mislead, but silence reveals. It is in silence that we hear the voice of wisdom, the whispers of our soul, the lessons of the universe. Sanjay fell to his knees. He had spent his whole life arguing, believing power lay in the ability to dominate a conversation, to prove himself right. Yet here, in the vastness of silence, he had found something far greater, clarity. Master Rohan explains further, the mightiest storms are followed by silence, and in that silence, the world heals. When you are silent, you do not lose power. You gain understanding. You do not surrender, you grow. From that day on, Sanjay stayed at the monastery, not as a student of words, but as a disciple of silence. He learned to listen, to observe, to understand without rushing to respond. And when he finally returned to the village, people noticed a change in him. The man who once spoke endlessly now chose his words carefully. He no longer argued for the sake of being right, but instead, he listened with an open heart. Years later, he became just like Master Rohan. When he did speak, his words carried the weight of mountains. Sometimes, silence is more powerful than words. It is in silence that we find clarity, wisdom, and true strength.